What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. Today we are going to play every starting scenario the game of Kenshi has to offer. Now, when you start a new game, Kenshi lets you pick your beginning. And as you can see here, you have a lot of options to choose from. We're going to play them all, every single one. And in this video, I'm going to show you the highlights and share some information about each one. But I'm only going to be playing them for 40 minutes each, or until I die, whichever comes first. Those are the rules that I set myself for this video, and that's it. Let's get started. So the first starting scenario we're going to play is the Nobodies. Basically, you start off with a group of 5, no money, nothing to our name. The difficulty is listed as easy. We start off in the middle of the map, a place called the Hub. Now, right off the bat, I wanted to take advantage of my 5-man group, so I attacked this vagrant that seemed to have some nice gear. I was a little afraid the guards would come after me, but since the Hub is basically a rundown city, I thought I could get away with it, and I did. I scored a nice headpiece and a katana, and this is something I could not have done if I started a scenario all by myself. I don't know why I gave it all to Jackie either. I should have been Michael. A few minutes later, another battle ensues. This time I didn't start it. My group definitely is not strong enough to take on a group of hungry bandits. Luckily, the ninja guards from the bar took care of them for me. I figured I'd stay and fight because in this game it's good to get beat up a few thousand times to help with my toughness and defense. As you can see, even with the help of the guards, my group didn't do so well. I made sure that at least one person made it out without falling unconscious, and it looks like Jackie made it. It might have to do something with the gear upgrade he got. I heal my group and I loot the hungry bandits because I realize I have 5 hungry mouths to feed and we're all close to starving, so I need to make money ASAP. I also find sleeping bags to heal my troops faster. I step outside and I find an outlaw close to death with a bounty on its head. 500 cats. I figure this could be a good way to earn some money. Close by there's another outlaw, and this one is looking a little too eager to go to prison. And so I set off to Squin, a nearby city that will hopefully pay for the bounties of these two. I'm not sure if they'll need to be alive or not, but we'll see. It doesn't take long though before I encounter a problem, more hungry bandits. I toss my bounty to the ground and run as fast as I can to Squin. He's not going anywhere, and I'll be back for him once the coast is clear. I make it to Squin, and the guards, as usual, take care of my problems. Meanwhile, my other group members have finally healed, and I put them right to work as miners. In case the bounty thing doesn't pan out, it's good to have a backup plan. Which I'm glad, because it didn't work out. I don't know if it's because they're dead, or because they were Holy Nation outlaws, and I needed to turn them in there. So I try my luck at stealing, and that was a mistake, especially since this is a Shek city. The Shek are a strong race capable of cutting your limbs off with an attack. I'm real glad that didn't happen here. There are definitely better places to steal from than this place. Looking back, this was a bit foolish, but since I had 3 other characters to play, I thought I could get away with it. Now I thought both Jackie and Jermaine were going to be in prison, but it looks like only Jermaine got sent to a cage. The guard apparently does not want to let go of Jackie. Over at the Hub, Marlon and the others are making decent money mining and selling raw iron. Maybe I should have had them all mine? Jermaine isn't skilled enough to pick the lock on his cage, but apparently this bandit with no legs had no problem escaping. I went a little past on my 40-minute limit that I set for myself, but I have no regrets. I had a lot of fun playing this scenario. I sent Mike over here to see if he could rescue Jackie, but she ended up dying on the guard's shoulders. Now I'm ready to move on to the next scenario. Before I do, I'm going to save this game because I'll be playing it later. The Holy Sword scenario, the difficulty is listed as harder. You start with 100 cats. So basically you scavenge a battlefield and you find a legendary sword that is so awesome it makes you a wanted man. You have a bounty of 20,000 cats, and you also start off in the Hub. Now right away I wanted to test this holy sword. I thought maybe lightning bolts would drop down from the sky to anyone I struck it with. I found these 2 squatters and I wanted to try my luck on the weaker one, but unfortunately his friend with a sword decided to jump in. I quickly realized that I had made a mistake. There's no way a Kenshi start would be this easy. The sword was a lie, but really it's my fault. I tried to run, but it was too late. I was cornered and was dealt a bad blow to my stomach. I knew I would bleed out and eventually die, which really sucks because I was excited to venture out and create a good story with Nilford and his holy sword, but that's life. On to the next one. The Hive Exile. The difficulty is listed as hard. In this scenario, you're exiled from your hive for not loving the queen enough. So as an outcast, you have to venture out and find your place. You start off in this region of the map. I'm guessing this was your former hive colony. Now I don't have a lot of experience playing with this race, so this should be interesting. I find a marketplace to see if they sell any food, and to my surprise, they are fully committed to seeing me gone. They will not sell to me. I go outside and I spot a monster I had no idea existed. I thought I was gonna die again, but luckily the guards attacked it. I'm pretty sure they didn't do it for me, but I sure did appreciate it. The amount of damage these monsters took was incredible. It was a while before they were brought down. I was able to score big with the loot I got from their corpses. I wish I had a backpack or that I was able to sell to the vendor here, but since I couldn't, I had to venture out somewhere else to sell them. I picked a place on the map, hoping I would find a city there. I also made sure to keep an eye out for any monsters that wanted to kill me. I can't forget this is Kenshi. After 10 minutes, I spot a city and another hive village. This hive village is just like the one I started with. They want nothing to do with me. One hive, one mind, I guess. So I arrived to the city a bit cautious, because I'm not sure if they'll accept my kind here. Luckily, they call me a bug and let me through. Finding a city that will tolerate you can be a lot to ask for, it seems. But I'm happy because I get to sell the loot I got for a nice amount of cats. I talked to some locals at the bar and it looks like I'm off to an even better start. One recruit asked for 3,000 cats, the other joined my Bugs Life cause for free. Something I was not expecting. Having another recruit this early on is great, especially since it's a Shek, and the race that I'm playing is so fragile. Ruka's stats are also pretty decent. My goal now is to explore this region. I feel that I can now get away with that since I have Ruka by my side. I decide to keep traveling, hoping to find another recruit, or maybe find a battlefield with some corpses we can loot. But it turns out that I ventured off a little too far, into Holy Nation territory. Now I know the Holy Nation only accepts humans, but I thought maybe they would let the Bugman in, and I totally forgot Ruka was a Shek. I knew she wouldn't be allowed in, but I kept my distance and ran the second they came after us. Now, I'm used to running away from danger in this game, but the series of events that happened, well, I was not ready for it. I thought they would let up and after a while run back to their post, but no, the Holy Nation really hates us, and so do the Hungry Bandits. I thought I'd get a few hits in and run away, have my exile dance for them while Ruka handled the bandit leader all by herself. The Holy Nation was no longer after us, so I thought I could handle a little confrontation, and that was going great up until I got hit one too many times. I didn't want to risk getting knocked out, so I ran into the Foglands. I was hoping I could lose the Hungry Bandits there, maybe run into some Fogmen and have them take care of the bandits. But no, the Fogmen took care of Ruka and my exile. I thought this was for sure the end of the game, but to my surprise, they only took Ruka, and I was left there slowly recovering. Why didn't they take me? I don't know. Maybe we're related. I got up and I made a run for it to the only city in the Foglands. If I encountered another group of Fogmen, it would be game over. And sadly, there was nothing I could do for Ruka. She was captured and I was too weak to do anything. Once I made it to the city, my first objective was to find bandages. I was wounded and I didn't want to bleed out. I saw that I barely had any money and was worried I couldn't afford it, but luckily they were cheap. Once I was all healed up, I ran into a special recruit, another hiver just like me and broken like me. This really caught me by surprise. I wanted to name him Mini-Me, but he's pretty hard set on Beep being his name. I was happy to add another recruit to my group, but at the same time sad that I was about to lose one. I felt pretty helpless witnessing what was happening to Ruka. At that moment though, I knew my goal, my destiny. It was to level up my Exile and Beep to the point where we could both annihilate a mob of Fogmen, to rescue anyone from being eaten alive. It's going to take a lot of time and training, but I was committed to seeking revenge. Now, my 40 minutes are up playing this scenario. I want to admit that I avoided playing this race before. I thought they were weak and one-dimensional, but I was wrong. There's definitely something special about them. I'm saving this game. I had a lot of fun playing this scenario, and I feel that I owe it to Ruka to avenge her, but for now, it's time to move on. In the rock bottom scenario, you start out just as that. No food, no money, nothing on you. You're alone in the middle of the Great Desert, and the cherry on top is you just lost an arm. So I open the map, and there is one positive. There are 3 cities revealed on your map. Instead of wandering aimlessly, you have a direction to go to. As I set off towards Shobatai, I remember something that lowers my chances of surviving. This is United Cities territory. They will not accept me in their city looking like this. They'll actually attack me for it. My goal is becoming clear. Survive by keeping a low profile, get some clothes off of a dead corpse, and do something about my missing arm. There's a prosthetics arm I can buy off of a robotics shop in the city nearby. I spot a small battle taking place. I notice a pack bull on the ground and immediately think jackpot. Unfortunately, it wasn't carrying anything valuable. I take what I can and I run off. I actually went back to loot its backpack, and I'm glad I did because it was worth 1,000 cats. I love martial arts and Kenshi, but it looks like with just one arm, you're not able to hone that skill. I figured it could be since I was trying to fight someone that was crawling on the ground, so I thought I'd try my luck with someone standing. He had only one good arm like I did, so I thought why not? It turns out it was a big mistake. Once I got that second hit to my head, I knew I was in trouble. I wasn't able to react fast enough, and yeah, 3 hits to the head, and that's all it took. I thought I was a goner. I just fast forwarded time and hoped, yes hoped, some manhunters would see me, heal me, and make me a slave. That way I'd still live to see another day. And that's exactly what happened after about a day of waiting on the ground. It sucks being in prison, but usually there's always a way to escape if you're patient enough. I knew my skills were all low, so it would take a lot of time and effort, but I was okay with that. I was placed in the cell that I could pick the lock and thought things were looking up. There also weren't that many guards close by, so I figured I could at least make my way around the building and slowly level up my stealth. That was the plan. Unfortunately, I didn't stick to it. I thought I could run for it and make an escape, and the worst thing that would happen would be getting hurt, healed up, and then locked back up. I made the mistake of speeding up time while doing this, and I wasn't able to control my character fast enough. To make matters worse, I wasn't healed, just placed back in the cage to die a slow death. I should have seen this coming. You live and learn in the world of Kenshi. Apparently this is a hard scenario, but I think I could have pulled it off. The slaves. In this scenario, you start off with 2 slaves placed in the holy rebirth pits. Hundreds of slaves surround you, and so do hundreds of guards. Now you start the game off as an escaped slave placed right in the middle of slave fields. With no chance of escaping, your 2 choices are to run and get beaten, or jump right into a cage. I chose the first and took my beating. What happens next is entirely up to you. You'll be released from your cage and given the job as an obedient slave. As such, you'll do slave things. If you decide to do anything else, like move a different direction, stealth, or anything really, you'll be disobeying Ogren's will, get beat, healed, and locked up over and over and over. After you spend some time as a prisoner, you start to notice a few things that could help with escaping. Like after being locked up so many times, I was able to level up my lockpicking skill so that I could easily escape my cage and release those around me. You would think that's all you need, but there are hundreds of guards, and I did nothing but free a slave just for him to get beaten up and locked back up. After some time, I came up with a different strategy. I wanted to level up my stealth skill, and I figured why not level up my assassination skill as well. The assassination skill allows you to knock out pretty much anyone in the game for a short amount of time. After that, you can loot or kidnap them. This wasn't going to be easy as Holy Nation guards are tough, but I was determined to level it up and be a knockout master. It seems that as long as I ran back into my cage, all was forgiven. Stimpy was getting it done. There were times where I tried a different approach, but everything resulted in getting beaten, and it would take a while for my wounds to heal, so I just went back to my original plan. I was pleasantly surprised how well stealth worked late at night. Like here, I had a 0% chance to knock out this guard. I failed, but my assassination skill leveled up to 25, and this is only after 4 or 5 failed knockout attempts. Stimpy was hurt bad and was slowly recovering, so I had Fiona take over. She was way more aggressive and really had better luck not getting hit. I was able to level her skill up way faster than Stimpy. No one was safe with Fiona, not even fellow prisoners. Anyone I could get behind was getting knocked out. And here it finally happened. I was in disbelief. It worked. I leveled up enough to be able to knock out a Holy Nation guard. This was the start to my escape. I could loot everything from him and have him dressed up as a prisoner. I could even put him in a cage. Not soon after, Stimpy got his very first KO. In my eyes, this was the start of the end for the Rebirth Pits. I thought of all the power I had now. No one could take my skills away. I was going to be a true menace. I looked at the time and I had gone way over my 40-minute limit. Alright guys, if you made it this far into the video, thank you. You are awesome. Now, I really thought I could fit all the starting scenarios into one video, but it looks like I'm going to have to make a part 2, which I'm okay with because I'm having fun with it. Comment below what your favorite starting scenario was. Feel free to like the video. I appreciate anyone who subscribes. This is a new channel and I'm learning as I go, but I'm having a lot of fun. So thanks for watching and I'll see you guys on part 2.